Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to the Pawtucket School Committee work session on Thursday, June 27, 2024 at 6 p.m. Ms. List, please take a roll call.
Spinello. Mr. Shalal. Ms. Fernandez.
Here.
Ms. Grant. Mr. Charbonneau.
Here, please rise for the pledge. Thank you, everyone. Ms. Fernandez had indicated that she'd like the recognition to go before the public participation. Is there any objection to that? No objection. So we will move to the recognition, the Tolman Shea Boys Volleyball Co-op Team, and Superintendent Royal is going to take us through that.
Good evening, good evening. Hold on one second. Okay. So I can talk to the students when they come up. Don't want my back to anyone. So good evening. Can I please call the Tolman Shays Boys Volleyball Varsity Team Co-op Team up? Shall I come up? Most importantly, coaches. Come on, coaches. Yeah, definitely. And I think I saw the assistant athletic director. Come on down, sir. Okay, so good evening, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, coaches, and athletes. That was a good-looking group of young people. Good-looking group. Let's give them a round of applause, just because they are here on a day out of school, so this is very important. So with great pride and joy, we gather here today to recognize and celebrate the incredible achievements of the Tolman Shea Boys Volleyball Co-op Varsity Team. Your hard work, dedication, and your exceptional talent have led you to a remarkable victory in the Rhode Island Interscholastic League Division III State Championship. All right, let's give it up. I think we leading the state and all. We cutting up in sports this year, okay? So winning the state championship is no small feat. It requires skill, teamwork, perseverance, and an unwavering commitment to excellence. Throughout the season, this team demonstrated all of these qualities and more. They have faced challenges head on, supported each other through every match, and consistently strive to be the best, and you are the best. This journey to the championship has been nothing short of inspiring. From the first serve of the season to the final point of the championship match, they have shown us what it means to play with heart and determination. Each player has contributed unique strengths, and together they have created a powerhouse team that has made us all proud. I would like to extend heartfelt congratulations to every team member, the coaches, and the support staff who have played a vital role in the success of this team. Your hard work and dedication have paid off, and your victory is well deserved. So, Tolman Shea Boys Volleyball Co-op Varsity Team, you have set a high standard for excellence and sportsmanship. You have shown us teamwork's true meaning of perseverance towards winning this reward. As you celebrate this outstanding achievement, know that your community stands behind you, cheering you on and looking forward to your future success. Once again, congratulations on winning the Rhode Island Interscholastic League Division III State, not city, not local, state championship. You have made us proud. Let's give them a huge round of applause. So either Coach Babalaka, sorry about that, and Fred, he comes, step, Both, so we can pass out these certificates. Okay, okay. So you'll call out the name.
Carlito Vieira. Not here. I'll hold it. She's not here either. Carlos Medina. Elvio De Pina. Julio Marito Correa. Fernando Baptista. John Lucas Barroso. Jim Bornelis. Julio Correa. Ariel Diaz. Bara Diop. Alexander Gerardo. Brian Leon. Hasten Ortiz. Joseph Pimentel. And Jackson Samedo.
So let's give them another huge round of applause. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you. All right, Chairman.
Yeah, I figured I'd give them a minute and so they could file out. All right, we will move along to public participation. All right, we have Shara Clinton or Catherine Seals. Sure, either way.
I can do it. Good evening to school committee members, school department leaders, union leadership, and community members. My name is Catherine Seals. I have been working as a social worker at Tolman High School for the past 21 years. Tonight I am here with Shara Plimpton, my Shea High School counterpart. We are here tonight to express our deep concerns for the cuts in social work staffing, as well as the way in which the social work support is distributed in our district. As you know, at the last school committee meeting, 2 social workers were recalled, still leaving a net loss of 5 social workers. We have been told that it comes down to budget and that there is no money to add additional support. Yet, just this past Monday, a new central administrative position was posted. We appreciate the communication with special education leaders and union advocacy in hearing our concerns. However, we need to speak out to address the inequities of the current plan and to allocate social workers by building rather than by the student need and quantity of students. Behind you is a list. I don't know if the audience members can see this, but it's from RIDE website from the 2023-24 school year. It's listed each school along with the student population as well as the school special education population. Of great concern is the way the social workers have been allocated to schools for the upcoming school year. Every school in the district is assigned one social worker, regardless of the size of the student population or the needs of the building. Personally speaking, at Tolman, which is the largest school in the district, with the loss of our second social worker, there will be 86 students on my caseload next year, 86, of which 72 have IEPs and 14 have 504 plan. All 86 students require weekly or biweekly counseling services, 51 requiring weekly and 21 requiring biweekly. In addition to providing counseling services, I will also be required to address emergencies issues as they arise, which happen daily. These emergencies often include suicide risk assessments that unfortunately have become more prevalent as we continue to navigate the youth mental health crisis. More often than not, it is the students without an IEP or a 504 plan that require much needed support. What will happen to these students? There is also a severe profound room at Tolman that requires daily, often multiple times a day, support. It will be impossible for me to provide the services that are needed and that are legally required, IEPs and 504 plans, as well as the services listed in those plans, are legal documents. We are legally obligated to provide the services as written in their plans. The school department is opening themselves up for the legal ramifications if these services are not met. My situation is not unique, as all the secondary schools have far more students than the elementary, with the exception of JMW. The numbers speak for themselves. Having the same level of support at JMW with a student population of 182 and Tolman with a population of 1,027 is absolutely, unequivocally, inequitable and unfair to our students as well as to staff. To make an ill-advised decision that every school will have one social worker without determining the needs of the building is unsafe and unacceptable. We are letting down our students and their families. We are asking for leadership to take into account the numbers of students and their needs and to reallocate social workers according to these facts, not to allocate staffing based on a physical building or the optics of equity. Thank you.
As Kathy said, my name is Shara Plimpton, and I just served my 24th year in the district as a social worker. I'd like to thank all of the folks on the school committee, all of the educational leaders in this room, because I'm aware that all the work that you do behind the scenes assists us to carry on the work within the schools. And now I'm here to just summarize basically the request and the advocacy that we're here to speak to you about tonight, because there's more work to be done. So to underscore and summarize in brief, we're advocating for two main changes to the current plan. Number one, bring back the social workers that are currently unemployed. And just as importantly, number two, we urge you to relook at the allocations of social workers across the district and not to base this decision on a physical building. We do have suggestions for how this can be done more equitably based on three factors: numbers of students, student needs, and caseload sizes in each building. And we welcome the opportunity to share this data with leadership. Thank you so much for listening.
All right, and Ms. Bento.
Good evening. I start off by thanking you for switching the order for public input, because unlike some of the adults that I've seen come here and speak, I don't like to be too rude in front of children. Which leads me to my first point. I've been talking to a lot of voters, parents. Unfortunately, the media that comes here hasn't been as transparent as they should about what happens here. So they're hearing it from myself and other people. And I've come here several times already, and I keep saying the same thing. Those of you who know of me know that I'm very persistent, so I'm going to keep on repeating it until I see changes. People are getting more and more uncomfortable with how the administration, the teachers' union, and the committee operate. We are all in charge of making sure that students take responsibilities, number one, of their actions, right? And to be respectful of like authority and their teachers and their superiors. But what happens here, especially at this podium, is completely opposite, and it's scaring me and other parents as to how children get treated if there's bullying going on within this administration. And I've actually talked to some teachers who have brought it to my attention that they agree that their union president is a bit of a bully. He administrated it here last time too, but I don't know, I'm gonna have to ask one of you guys afterwards how this can be watched by people, because I don't know that they can access it right away. It probably should be. Because the way that he presents himself, for no reason, he has no reason to why he do it. Some of us have an opinion, but it's scary to know that teachers elect him. And those are the same teachers that are around our children. I'm not gonna go into detail here. I think you guys can read between the lines. There's a problem with how adults are still addressing each other. So last time that I was here, I know that you guys can't really communicate with us while we're doing public input. That's great. You guys can't really email back. Ms. Bonolo, you pointed that out. You exaggerated it when you pointed it out, because I was sitting in the back for those that weren't here. And when you spoke about the email, you actually backed up into your seat, almost falling out of it, to make sure the whole room knew that you were speaking to me. That's not a good idea, just so you know. And I'm not coming off, I'm not trying to be rude, but that's another thing that I'm saying. That's like, we're trusting you guys to pick the right people to not teach our children how to be rude and being a bully and condescending, yet you're portraying that, you know, to someone like me who's gonna point it out every single time. So with that, I'd like to say, thank you so much, Superintendent, for the spirit that you present when you're presenting the kids. I've told many people this before. I've never seen that before. You really make them come out of their shell, so to speak, and feel proud. And I'm hearing that from the students and the parents. More parents would like to come here when that happens, but they're not going to. As long as the attitudes keep flying back and forth with the disrespect. People are having a hard time understanding why you get spoken to a certain way. Teachers are a little bit confused, and I'm gonna be brief. Teachers are confused because the information that's making it back to them is inaccurate. So they're being made to believe that things are not happening the right way. So the lady spoke before me. I get confused, and I'm going to ask that you guys please work on this, because if I get confused, and I come all the time, let alone the people that are at home that get to watch this eventually. I've heard it said so many times, over and over and over again, by the administration, that they've been working with the union president to call some of these people back. Not everybody's going to get called immediately all at the same time. That's scary that educators don't know that. Is anybody listening? No, they're not, because they're not coming to the meetings, but they're being told by their union president that it's a certain way because he doesn't have the information. He's making it up as he goes along for whatever reason. And then they're coming here to present things that they don't know what they're talking about. It's been said so many times that they're going to get around to calling people back. Couple people, she said it in her own words, a couple have been called back. How do they know the other ones won't? I don't know. It's just a kind of like a waste of I'm taking time out of my day to come down here and hear something that's productive. And all we hear is the further you guys go forward, somebody comes up here and makes it seem like it's going backwards, like sabotage going on. Let's just relax, try to work with each other besides just coming to this podium and pointing fingers at everybody, trying to make it look like no one's doing their job. Because I'm a parent, I'm a taxpayer, and I'm telling you, it creeps me out to know that if this is how the teachers and the teachers union treats this administration and this committee, I can't trust that they're not doing these types of tendencies with children. Correct me if I'm wrong. The last time that I was here and I made statements, and I always make statements, yeah, I can pull the color card anytime. I can. There's a reason for that. Y'all see this? So within a couple of hours after this meeting was over, on Facebook, somebody who was in this room, and it was just teachers. Actually, it was like 10 minutes after you had posted, Ms. Paolo, on the Pawtucket page. There was something that said, Bento is a clown and a racist, and she hates all teachers. Yeah, well, I'm putting it on blast here today. I blasted it on my own page because we all know that's not true. I can't be a racist. But anyway, I say that point to say people that are here, probably sitting out here today, don't like what I'm saying. But there's nothing wrong with what I'm saying. My approach might be wrong. So they might go on Facebook later on, and it was posted a lot anonymously, by the way. Feel free to do that. I'm still pointing out valid points. If you guys act like adults, I don't have to come here and say all this. But attack on me, please. Nobody's bothering me with that. I kind of have an idea where it's coming from, but I don't care. I'm still going to come here, and unfortunately, I have to keep reminding you guys what happened in the last meeting, because I'll be here at the podium speaking, and nobody interacts and says anything. But when I sit down, you have people over here on the left that like to address me. So now I have to come to the following meeting and address them back. Knock it off. I'm grown. I'm not a child. And I will come here consistently and check you every single time. My approach ain't great, but it's an approach. Thank you.
Ms. Bento. All right, we will move to approval of previous meeting minutes of 4/25/24. Motion to approve the minutes of 4/25/24 by Mr. Shalala and Ms. Bonolo, seconded by Ms. Grant. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Old business discussion action items. Remove from the table $234 million approval memorandum of agreement, MOA 5 revision. Motion to remove the MOA number 5 revision, $234 million approval from the table by Ms. Bonolo, seconded by Ms. Grant. Any discussion on removing it from the table? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, now we will move to approval of MOA 5 revision, $234 million price tag. Any? Motion to approve the $234 million MOA number 5 revision by Mr. Shalal, seconded by Ms. Bonolo. Discussion on MOA 5. None. Roll call on the approval, please.
Ms. Pinello? Yes. Mr. Shalala?
Yes.
Ms. Fernandez? Ms. Grant? Mr. Shabana?
Yes. All right. New business discussion action items. Recall of said certified educators. Superintendent, you taking this one, or is who's taking it?
Good evening, school committee and superintendent. So before you, you have 62 names of employees. We're looking for approval to recall those employees back to a position in Pawtucket School Department.
Motion to approve the recall of 62 certified educators by Ms. Bonolo, seconded by Ms. Grant. Any discussion? Ms. Bonolo.
So, we have these that are being recalled. We still have 5 social workers that are not being recalled. We have 3 counselors that are not being recalled. I would like the number of special educators that have been cut from the budget. Because, as they said, we're legally bound to provide services for our students, and if we cut the budget so much, that we can't provide these students adequate services, then we're not doing our job. So could you get us a list of how many special educators have also been cut from that? And if there is any inkling of putting some social workers or guidance counselors back? Because I know with the social workers and the guidance counselors, last year, sometimes we had 2 or 3 incidences at the schools in one day. And those are ones that were reported to us, and a lot happens that's not reported to us, but when the rescue comes, we know. So if there's 3 in a school and we only have one social worker to handle it, then we're not handling the services that the students need. So we need some more information, and we need to know where we're going with social workers and guidance counselors, if you would, please.
Absolutely, and I can update you on the 5 social workers. So the 5 social workers that were pink slip laid off, 3 of them have been recalled. So that's good news. And as we have retirements and people who relocate to other positions or other districts, as that occur, as we talked about previously, it's a process. And so we are recalling those folks as quickly as we can. And again, in partnership with the union president here, we have been in close contact as these changes occur, but I will make sure I get that report to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Right now, we are currently looking at roles and responsibilities of both social worker and guidance counselors, because things are not aligned right now. So while we're in the process of doing that, I probably have either Ms. Lofton or Dr. Tate come and share roles and responsibilities so we can have clarity around what should be happening with these 2 positions, because I think there's poor communication around the expectations of both roles. And what has been happening, for example, if I'm a social worker, I should not be assigned a caseload. It's not the work of a social worker, and it's not on their job responsibilities. But I'm going to refrain from now because I don't have the information in front of me. But I would like to share, so when we're looking at and hearing information, we're looking at accurate information. And I think we can make better informed decisions that way. So I think we need to do that the next time, Ms. Lofton, is bring the roles and responsibilities, the decisions that were made, and where we're moving forward.
Absolutely.
Because I don't want people to walk away thinking that Ms. Royal is just cutting positions just to cut positions. That's not the case at all. But we need to make sure that we're aligned to whatever the roles and responsibilities are, because we have case managers, we have LEA representatives, we have teachers, we have special education. All of them make up the IEP team. As Grant knows, it's a room full of people that's making decisions what's best for our students. But we have to do it in a decent and order way. So I think that would be a good step when we're talking about, because I keep hearing Ms. Royal is cutting, Ms. Royal is cutting, it's just not accurate. And every year we make these decisions. And what I'm hearing, every year we have at the same moment, we're talking about the same information. We have to do callbacks every year. We pink slip. This is nothing I created at all. I'm just following the line with what has been happening every year. Ron told me this has been going on over 20 years. So I just be amazed when it's like I'm creating something new. This is not my process. I learned this process. I went to the mock a staff assignment to see how it works. This is not my process. So when I hear people saying, oh, Ms. Royal, this is not my process. I'm following what is in the union contract, and I'm following the processes that are in place. We're continuing. We haven't created any classrooms for next year yet. That's still in the process. No final decisions have been made. When the young two social workers came, I'm taking notes. I'm still looking. We're still trying to retrofit the schools for what is needed so our students get what they need. So I don't want you all to sound like it's final. No decisions have been final. You all will know when it's final when I come with the final budget for approval from the school committee. So I just want to make that clear. Thank you.
All right, and Ms. Lofton, if you could get that information over to Ms. Liss, and Ms. Liss would distribute it
Absolutely.
out to the committee. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Ms. Grant.
I think, but I'm not sure. I think the superintendent might have answered this. But the question I was going to ask is, the people who are being recalled, are these the positions they're going back to, or has it not been decided?
So what happens is, of the 78 teachers that were on that list,
Yeah.
62 of them have been recalled to a position in which they are certified for.
Okay, all right.
So we still have about,
Please.
16 or so folks, 12 to 16 folks, that we're still looking to place in positions, but they don't hold the certifications for the position. In addition, we have teachers whose certification ends at the end of July. So we're working with those teachers, and I'm working with Mr. Beaupre on that as well too, constant communication on ensuring that those teachers are able to keep their jobs, keep employment by keeping their certification updated. So we do have folks that have emergency certifications. We have people who we have to write letters for on behalf of Pawtucket School Department to help them to ask RIDE to grant them another year. So we are working together with our union partners here to ensure that educators know that you have to check your RIDE portal, you have to keep up with your certification, is your responsibility. But in addition, on behalf of the Pawtucket School Department, we send out notification to our employees as well. So we're working with a couple of different factors here to ensure that we get people employed or placed either back in a position, but it is a position in which they are certified for. You're welcome.
Anything else on the recall of the certified educators? Motion on the floor to approve. It's been seconded. Roll call on the approval, please.
Ms. Pinolo?
Yes.
Mr. Shalal? Yes. Ms. Fernandez? Yes. Ms. Grant?
Yes.
Mr. Shabana?
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Lofton. All right. Jonathan Levy, architect, design fee proposal for Unified High School, review and approval. Megan's got this one?
All right. Good evening, school committee members. So the last time we were here, we were interviewing for the CM, and since then, between the CM, Shawmut Design and Construction, and Jonathan Levy Architects, we've been working on building the proposals for your review so that we can continue designing for the high school as well as getting things in motion to start construction. So what we have for this evening is the architectural fee proposal for your review. And we're going to go through here, just highlight a few things, and then also hear from Jonathan with any questions that you may have for the both of us. So the construction cost that we're looking at is $260 million. Based on this construction cost, we are looking at a architectural fee of an 8.5%. So that equates to $22,100,000, and that would be the fee for approval for you tonight. So it's important to note that there was a lot of collaboration amongst Jonathan Colliers as well as Shawmut to go through and really look at the consultants that we're looking to have on the project. There's a lot of conversations to make sure that we're using the ones that are going to make us most successful in the project. So we did get a lot of input, and, we wanted to maintain utilizing consultants from Rhode Island, nearby, Massachusetts where necessary, and then also focusing on our MBE and WBE participation. So right now we're tracking around 8% on that piece. So you'll go through the proposal and you can also see how the fee is broken out over the design phases. So this will be a way for us to track and really budget against the project.
Approve the design fee proposal for the Unified High School to Jonathan Levy Architects, the amount of $22,100,000 by Ms. Bonolo. Do I hear a second? Seconded by Ms. Grant. Any discussion on the proposal? Ms. Grant?
Is 8% the typical, or is that middle of the road, low, high?
It's right there in line. In comparing projects that Colliers is working on of the same comparable size, it was right around the 8.5%. So we're definitely in line with where the rest of the market is.
Anything else on the award of the design fee proposal? Jonathan, we're certainly, we're excited to get started. We're excited to continue the partnership, and congratulations.
Although you have to vote first?
We will. Roll call on the approval, please.
For the horse.
Ms. Bonolo,
Yes.
Mr. Shalal,
Yes.
Ms. Fernandez,
Yes.
Ms. Grant,
Yes.
Mr. Charbonneau.
Yes. Congratulations.
I'm deeply appreciative, and I'm deeply honored. As you know, I have been working here now for almost 2 years, and everyone who asks how is it going in Pawtucket, we say they're the most wonderful client because you're decisive, you're passionate, you're dedicated to your students, and you know how much the improvement of your education is going to redound to the benefit of your community. We have just been delighted to work with you, and the next few years, it's going to be quite a long time that we're partnering together, are going to be one of renewed commitment. Every month, every year, we will renew our commitment to you with no diminishment in the level of passion and in the sense of service that we want to give you. And I want to hear from you directly if there's ever any hesitation in your confidence. I want to hear from you directly. That's me, Jonathan. You email me directly or pick up the phone and call and tell me this is something that isn't quite the way that we expected it to go. But we're going to do everything to make sure that we understand your expectations in advance. We're meeting with Superintendent Royal in 2 weeks after the 4th of July break to inform her of everything that transpired during the previous stage of work. We did a lot of work there. She came in near the end, and we want to make sure that she and her staff are fully briefed and informed, and that they have an opportunity to guide us according to their vision. So that's really the next step. I want you to know that. We're not just leaping forward. We're going to make sure that we review and reflect on what we've done, and if there are changes that are necessary, we're going to embrace those changes and move forward. So thank you. Thank you very much. I'm deeply
Congratulations.
honored.
Thank you. All right, now Megan's going to take us right through the next item. Shawmut Design and Construction, notice to proceed for Unified High School review and approval.
Are we good? Are we good? Okay. So next partner, the next partner that we have here is Shawmut Design and Construction. So what we have before you tonight is the notice to proceed. So this is a construction manager at risk contract that we're going to be engaging in. And so this is where we're going to be starting the pre-construction services. We're going to get mobilized on site here in the next few months. That's where we're going to start tapping into general conditions. And then ultimately with the project itself, we're going to get you to a GMP, a guaranteed maximum price. So there's a lot of work that goes into that. So it's very important to get the design team engaged as soon as possible, as well as our friends here in Shawmut to get things moving off the ground. So for approval this evening is just as we said, the notice to proceed to start moving forward with the construction efforts on the project, the new high school.
Something to say? So moved. Motion to approve Shawmut Design and Construction's notice to proceed for the Unified High School by Mr. Shalal, seconded by Ms. Grant. Any discussion on this? There- All right, well, Ms. Grant's thinking, I'll just prematurely congratulate you and look forward to continue to build that relationship that we've established, one that's been rock solid at Baldwin, that's mutually respectable, and you know, we're certainly glad to have Shawmut on board as we undertake this massive project.
So the price for the construction, does that include demolition of the building?
Yes, it does.
It does, okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure that that was included. Okay, thank you.
Good. There being no further discussion, roll call on the approval for Shawmut.
Ms. Pinello? Mr. Shalal?
Yes.
Ms. Fernandez? Ms. Grant?
Yes.
Mr. Charbonneau?
Yes. Gordon, congratulations.
Thank you very much. And I just want to ditto what Jonathan said. We're really looking forward to continuing this partnership. I think I said that 3 years ago, that we were committed to the city. I grew up here, graduated from Shea in 1982, so the students are my passion, and I'm looking forward to continuing that. But most importantly, we get Baldwin finished on time and get the kids in there in June of 25, and looking forward to that too. Things are going really smooth. We've already started on the high school. We've been at the site. We're doing we had a team meeting today on, trying to get ahead of the utilities, and so we're really anxious to get going, and this is a big step for us, so thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right, we will move along to,
Thank you.
thank you, Megan. Review and approval of new Baldwin Elementary School interior color board samples. Gianna's gonna take this one.
Good evening, school committee members. Tonight, Colliers presents the interior color samples for the new Baldwin Elementary School for review and approval. So with this approval, all the interior finishes in the new building will be ordered and released. So tonight with us again, Mr. Jonathan Levy from Jonathan Levy Architects will review the color selections and to answer any questions regarding the finishes in the new school.
Thank you. So a word of explanation. When we, by the way, Robert Stack is also here from Toronto. Here's Robert. We've been working together with Toronto, of course, and Charlie Van Voris is here. Charlie Van Voris is the project manager for Jonathan Levy Architects on the Baldwin School. The process of designing a school involves creating drawings and specifications, including specifications for all the materials that go into the school. That is only the first step to selecting the actual products, because though we may be specifying things, ultimately we need to hear confirmation back from the contractor as to what their subcontractors are able to procure. Once they're able to confirm that, then they provide to us what are called submittals, which are actual samples of what they're proposing, and we have to then compare those samples to what we specified in our intent. Once we've done that and confirmed, then, for example, when it comes to paint or floor materials or ceiling materials, there's now a known manufacturer that has a known series of choices to make. So that's why we have to come back to you tonight and use your time for this. This is actually a follow-up meeting to one that occurred on June 20th of last year, where we met with John Coate and a number of representatives of the faculty, including the principal of the Baldwin School, and we made preliminary selections based on drawings that were made of each individual room in the building so that we could assign the materials to specific places. I'm going to have to describe those verbally to you today. I don't think it's very complicated. If you have questions, just let me know. So I'm going to try to make this as brief as possible. I'm not going to be able to use the microphone. I can take it up. Robert, oh boy. And Robert or Charlie, you just correct me if I say anything that's not quite right. So what I'm going to do is start with the floor. So just like in this room, there's floors, there's walls, there's accents, there's trim. There's also elements that have to do with countertops. Oh, okay, that's great. And I'm going to start with the floor. So John Coate, I wish he were here today, was very insistent that we have a beautiful premium material for the floor. It's called premium luxury vinyl tile, or LVT tile. It's a very durable product, and the great attraction for John was that it doesn't require as much maintenance as this type of vinyl composition tile. It doesn't require waxing and so on. So they just use a wet mop, and they're able to maintain it that way. So you'll see a range of colors here. There's not much variation, and I'll tell you why. Because daylighting is really important to kids. Daylighting actually scientifically is proven to improve student test scores. So natural light is very important to students. We all know it's important to all of our well-being. So you wouldn't believe it, but the reflective surfaces inside a room have a major impact on the quality of the daylight and the ability to improve what are called lumens, or the quantity of daylighting at the work surface for the students. So that's why I gave such a limited range of color here, because these are all light colors, but not so light, like bright white, that they would pose a maintenance problem and show up the dirt. So these are a variety. This is a warmer, kind of a beige. This is a gray. And this is a lighter kind of a beige, and this is a lighter type of gray. They also have a slight difference in terms of texture, which you're not going to be able to see here. Is there a way? There's no. Maybe after I'll bring them up to you. So at any rate, that's the floor. And I'm starting with the floor because it's the place where I think there's the least range of options. We also have one oddball color, which I think is a little too dark, but which kind of replicates the feeling of a wood floor, if that were desirable to have the warmth of a wood floor. I think that this will impact the amount of light that's in the room. To go with these three floors colors, we also have a range of typical wall colors. So there's a bright white, there's a kind of milky beige, which is still quite bright, and then more of an off-white. So those are three. And I'm apologizing if this is too bewildering, but I know that you are very interested in color, especially you, Joanne. So I wanted to make sure you had a chance to formally approve these colors before we went forward. Joanne, question?
So
Sure.
do we have to pick just one color for all the floors? Second question is, will all the floors be tiled, or will any of the floors remain concrete? And could the F1 be used in the foyer where it's very open and
Nice.
bright?
Love it. So the answer is no. We don't have to go with all one color. And in fact, Charlie here suggested, and I thought it was a brilliant idea, to mix these three colors together so that we would get something what interior designers call a range, so that it would have a life to it. It wouldn't just be one flat color, so there would be a slight range to the colors. So that would be our suggestion, and that's exactly where I was going, is to mix these three, these two or these two, yeah, together. And we don't think there's any cost premium involved in doing that.
Okay, the second question is, as far as the wall paint goes, the finish that we have over at Winters is not a satin finish that is easily washed, so when it gets marked with pencil, it doesn't come off. So we need something that is extremely washable for the students. So what kind of finish are you going to provide?
Semi-gloss,
Okay.
especially in the corridors. But we would have semi-gloss. I mean, there are more durable finishes. This project is responding to its budget and has painted high-impact gypsum board in the corridors. But I think if we pay a lot of attention to what type of semi-gloss, there are actually quite a few variations, from eggshell to super gloss. We don't want gloss because it's going to show all the imperfections in the wall. But I think we can pay attention to that, and I can get back to you with the specifications on it.
Because that's important, and we need to make sure that we can wash it with just regular cleaning instead of
Sure.
having a special chemical to clean it.
Sure.
I just want to mention, one of the great things about having Jared on board with the project is that he was very conscious of making parity with Winters, but also for learning for Winters. So back when we did the technical specs that would cover stuff like that, Jared was very involved.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm going to throw a curve at you, which is that I know that Ms. Bonillo in particular is a fan of bright color. And I think others of you are as well, especially for an elementary school. So we have built into our project what's called a bumper rail, which is like a sash that goes around all the public spaces and in the classrooms as well. I'm sorry, just in the public spaces. So we have at the level of 30 inches, and it's about 2 feet deep, a band of color that goes all the way through the school. And so I wanted to present you with 3 options. And that it's not just a band of one color, but it's a band of a mix of colors. So kind of a rainbow of colors that go all the way through the school. I'm not going to ask you to make a decision right now. I'm going to go through some other material so you can sort of dwell on this for a moment. But we have 3 different ideas. One idea is to use 3 of the 4 accent colors. So these are the accent colors that are on the exterior of the building. If you recall, the building consists of 2 wings. Chair Charbonneau, just tell me if I'm going too long. I don't know how much time you have, and I'm sure you have a big agenda behind you. Yeah. So if you recall, there are 2 wings. Go ahead. Yes.
I thought when we did Winters, like the teachers were really involved, and then they kind of just brought to us the final things that we would decide. So we're going to be picking what floor and what goes around.
I think all of these were agreed to by the teachers, the tiling colors, we're just looking at some of the flooring material, right?
That's right.
And
so that happened June 20th of last year. We had a meeting with the school staff and with the administration.
I might just be getting confused when you say, I have these options for you to choose.
Well, there are options here for today. So if you'd like to delegate this choice to the teachers, we can do that as well. That's for you to decide. I brought it directly to you because I was told that this was a decision that this school committee would like to make directly.
yeah, I think
You can choose.
But the basic colors we're seeing have already all been agreed to, right? It's just what
The ba-
combination we,
Yes, the basic range of colors has been agreed to, and actually, you approved those colors.
right.
The main colors that are assigned as themes to each of the wings, you agreed to. So those are these 4 colors here. So on the exterior of the building, and my simple proposition is to use those same themes on the inside.
Yeah. So let me ask my colleagues, is it the will of the committee that we ask that this conversation take place with the faculty at Baldwin? And what they agree to is good with us?
Me personally, I thought that's how we did it with Winters, and then it was just kind of brought back to us, like, this is what they have chosen. Do you guys like it? Boom. Because they're the ones who are gonna have to be in the buildings every day. And I'm assuming you guys would work with them
Yes.
to decide what the best quality is. But I would think for us to just kind of see maybe what they chose, and if we at that time had a problem with that, they wanted, all black walls, then we might say, oh, no, we can't do that. But I think, I think between the principals and the teachers, I think this is gonna be their space, and that, they should really, have the say on it,
My public comment is I'm going to defer to you three. You guys we renovated and built schools the last 6, 7 years, but I wanted to point out, Chair, Lisa was having her hand up. Did you want to?
I don't know if I can speak. So I wanted to kind of frame what's happening a little bit. So the digital visioning was the school, and they did have some substantial conversations in the past when we were doing Winters. We had a facility subcommittee, which was comprised of members of this group, as well as teachers and administration, and a lot of those harder decisions, like the honing in, was done there. But we're a facilities committee in the whole, right, at this point, so I think that's why it's here. But we can certainly pare it back and make a little bit more definitive decisions as a group with the teachers.
Is that the,
I agree with Kim. I agree with Kim. I think the teachers and administrators should have the say and bring it before us. I don't know if all 3 of us, all 4 of us would agree on. You're asking us if we want to pick BR1, BR2, BR3, right?
Yes.
So see, like I'm a BR3 person, but for children, but BR1. So.
but I mean, we make those decisions every day, right? We don't all agree on everything. Let me just check, Gianna, what is this gonna do to the schedule if,
Just based on the conversation we're having here, can we say that we're delegating some decision to the school staff based on this select option in front of you here?
yeah, I think that,
So this is the limited options that, based on these options that you're all agreeable with, they can select.
right.
Can we do that and
And that's possible, but these are what they chose anyways, right?
Not the colors.
Ah.
They saw this board,
They saw this board with all the materials,
and there's a very few colors.
Okay.
because we didn't get the colors back from the manufacturers yet, so we're getting those now.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying, based on the color option in front of you, can we get the
My understanding is that we need to bring what we've already selected in front of you, so you can see what we're doing in the school, but this product has to get released, just to be clear.
Can I put the vote up and down has to be done tonight?
Well, I kind of misunderstood the presentation as well. I thought this was already decided. We're in a situation now where we're looking to release the material.
Okay.
So it can't go much longer than, you know, when we get back from maybe the holiday. And I don't know if the teachers are gonna be able to have input. I think they've already made some decisions, right?
Yeah, so let's,
I think just so I level set, the teacher planning board there is everything that the staff at Baldwin has agreed to. They've seen, yes, they've agreed to, right. Now, we're being asked to pick out the floor and an accent
And paint,
panel,
yeah.
and we're being given options that closely align with the colors that the teachers have already picked out. So I think we're in a safe spot to pick the floor material and one of those color combinations.
And to be clear, to Charlie's point, these are releasable. We're all set with this board. It's really in the paint and the floor. And that's, we have a little leeway there.
but Gordon, couldn't we break this down a little bit? You probably want to release the floor soon,
Yes.
but the paint,
The paint.
that could happen anytime. That can
Well,
wait till
yeah,
September, couldn't it?
But it
Yeah.
depends how fast the drywall is.
So maybe we delegate the paint colors to a subcommittee made up of the faculty in the fall, when the teachers come back. And if we can make a decision about the flooring today, then Gordon can release it. Does that make sense? To break it down like that?
I just want to look at the schedule before I make that comment. We're painting 3 months on building B that we're framing now. We're gonna be drywalling that in 3 months. It could be you want to paint it, but we should look at that. Yeah. I have no problem stretching it, but we have to be careful. As long as this is releasable, we're good here, which is the majority of the lead times, and the flooring is important to release now.
Can you tell us what those colors are on that board?
On which board?
Like, what's the dash on the bottom?
Yes, this is security mesh that's around the administration area. This is, we have tackable surface. We have quarry tile in the kitchen areas. We have a typical door finish, which is fairly light. We have, going with that, we have phenolic laminate. We have laminate for countertops and so on. We have accent tiles in the bathrooms together with white fields. And these are all based, once again, on the color coding of the themes of what's elsewhere in the school. And then we have some treads, rubber treads, in the egress stairs, which again are based on the themes of that, like the orange wing, the red wing, and so on. So there's not a lot of controversy here in terms of how to assign them. Yeah. Number one is what's called tectum. So we have acoustic paneling, which coordinates with the typical acoustic ceiling tile that we have elsewhere in the school. So we have some of that, and then we have epoxy flooring in some of the, is this in the bathrooms and toilet rooms, which is just a neutral color. And then the carpet, I don't think you need to release immediately. This is in the media center, so we can go on that. So that's pretty much the.
So we're good to make a decision on the floor? Let the colors, the final colors there, go back to the teachers. And if time becomes an issue, we'll bring it back, we'll make a decision.
So let me just show you the texture of these. So we would mix these two colors, or we would mix these two colors. You like the bottom one?
Are they both made of the same
Yes, yes. They're both LVL, luxury vinyl. Yeah, LVT. The bottom one?
All right, somebody make a motion to approve the bottom one, and let's move along.
I make a motion.
Floor 3.
What is it?
Floor
I
option
make
3.
a motion that we accept floor number 3 for the classrooms in Baldwin
Yes.
Elementary School.
And then Joanne wanted to use this in the entry lobby, which I think is exciting, to add a dash of color in the foyer.
For the floor? All right. So motion by Ms. Grant to approve floor number 3 as the main flooring and
Typical,
floor
yeah.
1 as
The entry lobby.
entry lobby flooring. Seconded by Ms. Bonolo. Any further discussion on the flooring? All right. Roll call on that, please.
What was the number one? Was
1 is for the entrance lobby
Thank you.
flooring, and 3 is the school majority flooring.
Ms. Bonolo? Mr. Shalal? Ms. Grant? Mr. Shabno?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Levy.
Thank you, you've made that very simple. Very easy, thank you. And we'll revisit the paint and it's, well, we're gonna revisit the paint
Yeah.
in the fall.
Yeah.
When you can get your teachers committee. I'm sure that Gordon has the flexibility to let us do that.
All right, we will move along to budget transfers for approval. Is anyone taking that? Budget transfers, yeah.
Thank you. Chris and I have this tonight. So we have several budget transfers from the Facilities Department for your consideration this evening. They are detailed in your packet. For procedure's sake, do I read each of them, or? So the purpose of them are, the reasons are listed below, but we're here to answer any questions.
Motion to approve the budget transfers by Mr. Shalal, seconded by Ms. Grant. Any discussion or questions on the budget transfers? Ms. Bonolo?
So the last one is 7,700, although it's small. What repairs do we already have at Winters?
There was
It
an
says
HVAC,
HVAC.
there was a BMS issue that we added some graphics to the BMS.
Yes,
An upgrade?
Upgrade.
That we added?
yes,
Okay, and that's what it is.
yes.
Okay, so that will take care of any future issues we have over there?
Hopefully.
The one, who's gonna answer yes to that? Let me just check. Didn't we just have elevator repairs at Tolman?
We did.
Didn't we just, and now we have,
Numerous times. The elevator went down several times this year.
It rains heavily.
The elevator went down several times.
so what is this, the money that we're using now for the elevator repair, what is this going to do to stop the issues of
These are
having it go
just,
down?
these are throughout the budget. This has been through the course of the year.
It's already expended?
Yes, it's
It's
expended.
already expended, we're
Yes.
just moving it?
Yes, to
Okay.
balance it, basically.
Anything else on budget transfers? Motion on the floor to approve it. It's been seconded. Roll call on the approval, please.
Ms. Bonolo? Yes. Mr. Shalal? Yes. Ms. Grant? Mr. Shabno?
Yes. All right, approval to award custodial commodities.
Okay, I'll take that one. We went out for an RFP for our 3-year RFP for all our custodial commodities, supplies. We received multiple responses and recommend the following 7 companies for the custodial commodities, which total out to 79 items. You have a list of all the items. We recommend awarding to WB Mason, Home Depot, Shoraz, Lycar, Unipack, Central Poly, and Aramasca.
Approve the award of custodial commodities by Ms. Grant, seconded by Ms. Bonolo. Discussion, Ms. Bonolo.
I know I talked about it years ago, and I haven't in a while, but are these environmentally,
Yes. Environmentally safe, yes.
so that's the standard now
Yeah,
everywhere
yes.
and everything?
Yep, we
correct?
don't even use bleach in the school anymore.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Custodial commodities. Motion on the floor to approve it, been seconded, roll call on the approval, please.
Ms. Bonolo. Mr. Shalal. Ms. Fernandez.
Yes.
Ms. Grant. Mr. Charbonneau.
Yes. All right. You're up again, Chris. Approval to award custodial maintenance uniform.
Yep, the Pawtucket School Department went out for an RFP to seeking quotes for the custodial maintenance uniforms for a period of 2 years. We received 3 responses to our RFP. First one was Spirit Recognition. Their shirts, depending on the size and the style, because we do have short sleeve T-shirts, long sleeve T-shirts, and polo shirts. It's $13.89 to $23.99. The pants were $20.79 to $21.79, depending on the style and size. Uniform warehouse for the shirts were $12.50 to $24.50 each, depending on size and style. The pants $24.99 to $27.99, depending on size. And we also had a response from BSN Sports. They only bid on the T-shirts, which were from $12.49 to $15.90. We recommend accepting Spirit Recognition's proposal because they are our current company. They are a Pawtucket company who already has our logo on file, and they have a quicker turnaround time and no shipping costs since it's in Pawtucket.
Motion to approve the award of custodial maintenance uniforms to Spirit Recognition by Ms. Bonolo, seconded by Ms. Grant. Any discussion on the award to Spirit? Roll call on the approval, please.
Ms. Bonolo. Mr. Shalal. Ms. Fernandez. Ms. Grant. Mr. Charbonneau.
Yes. Discussion items. We'll take the district-wide summer construction projects. Ms. Grant, I know you would ask for this. And I believe Assistant Superintendent Ramsey is going to.
The construction projects, no, but the facilities projects, yes. The turf field should be finished.
Okay.
The commissary kitchen should go into the early part of the school year, September-ish.
So the commissary kitchen, will they still be able to work in that kitchen while the students are in school?
They will be able to do the classroom side, that's been prioritized, and the physical kitchen side will be the delayed section due to some product delivery dates. The playgrounds, we're hoping so, but we also think that those are going into the beginning of the school year. The Baldwin Build, no, not yet. The Goff windows, they're going to be going into the school year. ADA bathrooms should be done now. They should be done now. They've taken down partitions, and I think they have some punch list items left to do, so they should be done very, very, very soon. We've gotten final approvals on all of those. They've had inspections. Slater railings and doors, they should be done now. They should be done now, or very, very soon this summer. And then we head into facilities projects.
Can I ask a question? I, along with Dr. Tate and the superintendent, went over to Goff the last week of school, and we were looking at the windows. We were brought into a room by the principal, and we were shown a window that opens in. So there are windows in that building that if I have it correctly, and please correct me, Mrs. Royal, if there were 2 windows together, then those windows would open in. In most of the classrooms, if they have some single windows, then they open up and they only open 4 inches. But these windows that open in are not practical. There's no airflow at all. And I think we're all thought they were gonna be 4 inches up, where we have windows in an un-air-conditioned building that open in.
Yes, so the Goff Windows project has been a very large conversation, and I was been looking for Gianna, because I want to get you the exact information with regard to that. Some of them are indeed opening in, and some of the ones in the questions that we had were very specific to the science wings, because they abut the tables, the science tables, and they open in, which didn't make a whole lot of sense. The good majority of the windows are double hung windows, so they do go up and down, but I want to get you a full detailed list because a lot of it had to do with the architecture. But I don't want to misspeak here tonight without all those facts, so if I can get them to Mrs. Liss, or maybe we could put it on the agenda for next time, and we can have Gianna here speaking to that very specifically.
Could you also ask Gianna to make sure she has the regulations with her? Because I know the principal had said that he had mentioned that. He had asked for a copy of the regulations, and he never received them.
Okay.
And I think that might be nice for us to be able to go over.
Absolutely.
Because I have to be honest with you, I was very disappointed with the windows that open in. You know, even just, I understand if it is regulations, then the windows, if they can only open 4 inches, but these windows don't even come down where they do in our own homes when we have replacement windows, and this is a non-air conditioned school. So we need to make sure that
I will have Colliers and Gianna prepared with that.
Thank you.
It was very, so it's like the windows are big, beautiful windows.
They're beautiful.
Right, but it doesn't open in like this, it opens, so this is the front of the building, and I'm in my classroom, it opens like that.
Yes.
So it doesn't open like this, it opens like that. It's kind of like different, I was like, oh, but then.
Kind of the opposite way of the windows that are there now open. So like, if the air's coming this way, it's gonna smack right into the window. So. Why wouldn't it open out? The one we saw didn't open out.
So while we're talking about these windows, one of the other questions that the PE teachers had expressed is that the windows in the gymnasium and the windows in the auditorium, they're high, so nobody can get in them. So they said that there's a possibility that we could get a variance to open them up a little more than just the 4 inches to access airflow. Another thing I had asked, because they are high and they require the hook to close them, was the possibility that Hirsch could wire the gym and the auditorium windows just to set off an alarm when they close the school. So if there's a window open, that we can get it closed, because that would give easy access, because while they're high on the inside, on the outside, they're ground level. So people could get in, people could cause issues. So my concern was the safety of someone leaving it open, and what would happen if someone decided to do some vandalism at that time. So can we look at those as we're finishing up windows?
Any other takeaways on the Goff windows? We still want to keep going and take us through?
I can, sorry, I've sidebar with Chris about the windows. So we have some vendors coming in. We've done a district-wide assessment of the potholes. So we're going to have a vendor come in and fix those.
Getting the quotes for that now. I'm getting the quotes now for the potholes. The Clean Care Clean Care doing the seal in the boiler room is scheduled to start on July 7th here at this building, so we don't have the leak like we had last time, where it went into the dance studio. All right. The steam pipe, we're gonna have ATC come in and do. The fence at Slater has already been approved by this committee from Minucci. We have a call out to him now, and we're waiting right now because the railing guy is in there now. He needs access to where Minucci is gonna be working too, so once the railings are done, then Minucci will be able to come in and do his. The bubbler at Tolman, we already have a bubbler. We're gonna have it installed by a vendor unless we can hire a plumber soon, but I don't see that coming anytime soon. The HVAC updates would be, is that the BMS?
That's the BMS.
That's the BMS. The window replacement at the auditorium at Winters is because
Oh, it's the gym.
the gym, yes, was shot with a BB. So we have Lazat Glass coming in to do that. We've already received a quote on that. That's it for vendors. Our projects, would you like us to hear our projects? Our projects,
Let me do this, Chris. Do any of the committee members, the facilities items that start with Slater third floor girls' bathroom countertop down, are there any specific items that the committee members have questions on? Or are we good with the list?
312 at Goff, yes. Yep.
Please.
And I also want to preference this, we are down half of our maintenance staff. So these are the way we prioritized it. My goal is to have all of them done, just in case an emergency comes up. I can't say that they will if an emergency pops up.
You've got Slater's third floor girls' bathroom.
Yes.
John had a list of bathrooms that needed repair.
Okay.
In a specific order. So I think we have more bathrooms that also need to be repaired. And
I'll have
some
to
of them
speak with
in
them
the
on that.
elementaries where the doors aren't closing correctly, so.
The stalls,
They
yes.
don't have privacy, so can we, I know you're short-handed, but privacy like that should outrank something else on
Actually,
the list.
The stalls, I've actually went and got, ordering new hinges. It's a piano hinge, so they cannot break the stalls anymore. So we are ordering those on July 1st with the new budget, and I'm gonna order probably like 20 to 25 so we can have them on hand. And we're gonna use them at all the schools, so they'll be universal hinges. And we can just keep switching them out, because that's what they do, is they hang on the door and for the stalls, and they rip it off. The Slater bathroom was, I don't know how it happened. I have guesses of how it happened, but they ripped the whole counter right off the wall. There was 3 sinks and the counter was on the wall. The water was all over the place. The plumbing was, that's why that was the priority.
So the piano hinge, how many on the door?
There's only one on the door. It goes the length of the stall door.
So we would be able to cover, there's 6 stalls in a bathroom, so that would only cover 4 schools.
It would, if we have to replace the hinge. That's what I'm saying. Other ones like at Vario, we re-bracketed them up in the ceiling.
Right.
So they could close. We could probably do this with the other ones, but I'm talking about how they break the hinges constantly at Shea. Yeah, Shea, they rip them right off of the. Yeah.
Okay, so can we make sure that the little
Oh, yeah.
girls are able to close their bathroom stalls?
Sure can.
Please.
I will make it a priority.
Right. Anything else? All right, thank you, Chris, thank you, Lisa. All right, city school finance update. This is the standing item I've put on since the bonding issue at Winters. And then in the recent week, you've all been in receipt of communication from Attorney Conley to the city finance director. And so I'll open it up for any questions or comments. I can do the best to answer what I know, and certainly the superintendent's been our superintendent CFOs, and she's got a handle on it as well. Unless there's nothing.
City Hall, a Zoom call?
I'm sorry?
Did you get a Zoom call?
No. Did you get a Zoom call?
I did. Did you get a Zoom call?
You got a Zoom call from City Hall regarding what?
Closing out the budget on June 12th. Well, so they said they were reaching out to everyone, because I asked that.
I received a phone call today. I actually met with him in person. But
I'll go first, because you were talking about June 12th, which is a couple of weeks ago. And then,
I got the call today.
I thought, okay, you both.
But for me, it was just, they asked if I could meet. It was Ryan Holt from City Hall, asked if I could meet. He just wanted to go over the documentation that was sent to us. He also told me that he had reached out to you guys. He had spoken to our chairperson, Masha. He had known you're away, so he apologized that he couldn't get in touch with you. So he apologized. He didn't, and all he did at my meeting was just go over basically everything that I knew, that we had known. So that was it.
So I had asked him why they closed on June 12th, and I was told that they had an agreement with Melissa Devine to close early, and that it was okay to do that. I've spoken with Melissa, no, she didn't have an agreement.
Gone for a year, so.
I'm just saying, this is what I was told, that we still had access. I said, the General Assembly closes June 30th, RIDE closes June 30th, we close June 30th. So closing on June 12th, we have to accrue an awful lot of things in order to make where you've picked up the 25 budget, we haven't closed yet, and I explained that to them. So they said they were going to have a meeting with the finance team here, once we have one, and so that you could work out the issues then, and so everybody would be on the same page, how things are done, how you report in Munis, direct pays. They said all those POs that they deleted could have been direct pays. Well, I'm just telling you what I was told, so.
If it's exclusive meeting that you had with, that the three of you were invited to have. I mean, for me, this is like, well, I'm.
Right. So I will share with you, as you know, this started towards the middle of end of last week. And there was a letter sent from the superintendent to the director of finance that you're all in receipt of, and outlining a series of inappropriate actions taken on the part of the city finance staff that were frustrating and impeding the operations on the day-to-day side at the school department. The superintendent meticulously articulated each item that was a problem, She sent the communication off, and we decided we would wait for a response. And that was in direct response to the city going in and deleting 32, 34, 36 rec POs that we had in there for payment. And by going in and deleting them, that was an intentional act, because the delete button's here and the approve button's here. So somebody clicking the delete button clicked it intentionally. In any event, the superintendent responded as the leader in the district, and we waited on a response from the city finance director. Several days went by with no response. I received a call from the mayor's chief of staff indicating that he was aware of a letter from the superintendent to the finance director, and he wanted to give me the heads up that there was a response forthcoming 5 days later. So at that point, I thought in conversations with the superintendent and with our legal counsel that it was in the best interest of this committee and this district that we memorialize what had happened with a legal document from our attorney, because not only should they not have deleted our payments, not only had our staff spent time and effort to enter all those in, never got a heads up, never had a conversation, never had a collaboration that they always throw around. They just went in and did it and then sent us an email after the fact saying we closed the fiscal year and, oh, by the way, we deleted the POs. So I thought it was appropriate in defense of this committee that I represent, because what they've now created is a significant financial audit problem for when the 24 book closes. Remember, we just submitted our 23 audit a couple of months ago. The fiscal 24 year is closing. So when that audit comes out, I don't want there to be finger pointing at this school committee or this superintendent that somehow we fell down. So now it's out there, right? And now what happens is they start the individual phone calls, because it's what I say in private, not what I say in public, right? What they say versus what they do. It's the same nonsense that we've been going through for 2 years here. And you know what? They don't like it because they got caught. And it's the same stuff every time. They don't ask, they don't have a conversation, they don't collaborate, and then they come off with a half-ass apology after the fact to say, you know, yeah, well, maybe, okay, we shouldn't have done it. I apologize if that went off on a bit of a tangent, but I'm tired of this. I'm tired of it. You know what? We do this. I believe everybody in this room at this table does it for the best interest of the students. And I'm tired of getting my chain jerked every 2 seconds from them. You know what? But when I'm at the council meeting, nobody says anything back to me or corrects me. They'll wait 3 weeks later to take a cheap shot in the newspaper. So anything else on this? Superintendent, I don't know if you have anything. I apologize.
No, I mean, thank you, committee members. The information that you just shared was very accurate, and I just wanted it to be noted that not only have I worked with the city side business office, I will continue to work with the city side business office, because we have to do this work hand in hand. They manage our cash side for the district, so it's not a choice. But when, like Jay said, I have been trying my best, continue to do my best, to do what's best, not only for our students, but for our families in the district. And you all have given me the faith. You said, I believe that you are the right person to do this job, Ms. Royal. We need you to guide this ship in the right direction. I'm going to continue to do that. Finance is very important. Like I said, I have to work hand in hand with the city. There's no choice. Some people in the city department have been nothing but wonderful in trying to make sure that we're all on the same page. At times, it can be challenging. But when it comes to trying to finger point as though I've tried to lie about finances, I'm not being accurate about finances. I was very clear when they summoned me down to the city council to explain where we were with our bond situation. I was very clear, very transparent, and I'm going to continue to be clear and transparent in what happens in our business office. But to try to turn it around as though we're doing something inaccurately and appropriately, now you're bothering with my reputation and my ethics. And that's totally unacceptable. I'm here to do the work for the kids. I don't mind if you don't know. I was very transparent. I'm not a CFO. This is something I'm learning. I've reached out several times to the city side for support and help. I've gotten most of my help from Ride and Markham, not the city side. So all year I've been reaching out to them, and sometimes some people have reached back and helped, but it's nowhere near what I expected, especially if I'm new. And I've been told, oh, you knew, you don't have a business office. That's true. You know, got rid of your CFO. Now you get another CFO, so you've been kind of like have a skeletal staff. All that is true. I've been very honest. But to say that I have all the experts on the city side, and then when I reach out for help and no one can help, it just doesn't make sense to me. So once I got to the point to say, okay, well, your department is new like my department. So now let's learn together. So when you have to repeatedly ask for things or cause my team, I have a very skeletal team myself. When I have my secretary, myself, and a couple of my members working tirelessly on weekends, trying to make sure that we met the deadlines for our audit, and if we say, oh no, you're late, I was not late on the audit. Also, to work, I told Jay one weekend, I don't even have any more hours to give. That's how hard my team and myself have been working to do a job that we had to learn as we went along. So when I reach out to the city, I expect help. I expect support because I'm thinking we're in this together. We're working for the same people. But when you get turned away constantly and you're constantly pointed at, I've taken a lot of daggers in the public eye from my mayor in office. I have not reached out, have not called one reporter, have not did one sit-down conversation with anyone. I've been going through this battle with the city all year. And I just don't think it's fair, not only to me, but it's my team. I'm not in this by myself. When you throw daggers at me, you throw daggers at everyone that's sitting along that table over there and more. And to say that we're not doing our best to meet the needs of the kids of the district, we can have disagreements. I don't have a problem with that. But don't make it about ethics. I'm ethical. If I'm nothing else, you can say you don't like my decision. You can even say you don't like me. But to say that I've been untruthful, not fair, now I may not do what you want me to do because I've been charged with a job. I've only got not one degree, I've got several degrees. I've attended countless of hours of training to get several certificates to do this job. So I don't mind getting input from my constituents, from my what I call my Pawtucket family. That's what I'm here for. But to assume I'm not one of those superintendents that just got the job just to get the job. I worked very hard and climbed the ladder. No one gave me absolutely nothing to get to the seat. As a matter of fact, half of you all were in here when I did my interview. That was not an easy interview. So I've come into this district with challenges. But I'm not going anywhere until, I guess, somebody kicked me out. But I plan to stay and do the work. I love Pawtucket. I love the kids. I love the families. I love my teachers. I love the staff, the leaders, and I definitely love my committee members. So don't get it twisted. I do what I do because I do what I do for children. I'm going to always make the best decision for children and my staff members first. And if it does not align with what you want me to do, for whatever reason, I'm not from Pawtucket. It's very known. So I don't know the ties and all these secret way of working. I'm just doing the work that I've been trained to do. That's it. So when people say, you know, you got a ritual, you got to do this, I don't know unless someone tells me. So I'm doing the work that I was charged to do, and that is take this district, especially academically, to the next level. Our kids deserve it. This is their right. They're supposed to get the best education possible, and my job is to make it happen as much as I can and to bring along those as many people as I can. That's my job. I love what I do, and I'm not going to stop. But don't come after my ethics, don't come after my morals, and don't come after my values. I've worked hard for my reputation, and you're not going to take it away just in one comment to try to make it seem as though I'm mishandling funds. That would never happen. And thank you so much for allowing me this time.
Thank you, Superintendent Rod. All right. Anything else on this? All right, at this point, we'll go to work order summary. Any questions on those before we? There being none, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn to executive session pursuant to RI General Law 4246-5 for the purpose discussing acting upon the fiscal health, job performance, and administrator contract status. Motion to adjourn to executive session by Ms. Bonolo, seconded by Ms. Grant. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, we'll be in executive session. Diana, you good? All right, we will reconvene in open session at 8:08 p.m. Ms. List, please report out the votes.
The committee voted unanimously on a separation agreement with an administrator. The committee voted unanimously to seal the executive session minutes and to adjourn the executive session.
Motion to adjourn by Ms. Bonolo, seconded by Ms. Grant. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Good night, everybody.
Good night.